everybody. Jennifer from A Close Heart Experience here. I just had a very long day, and I thought I'd get on here and maybe talk about it. I don't have my normal setup going. Yeah, I put it up and take it down because it's on my desk, so every time I do a video I put it up and then I take it down. But today was a rough one, and I thought I would just do a quick video. I have been talking about my husband coming on and talking about the difference in his anger levels after having the stroke. Long story short, it's been a battle trying to get him to do that. He just won't. He won't. So, after today's battle, I just thought I'd tell you what I experienced, and it has been probably one of the longest days of my life. To be honest, since Monday, it has been one thing after another. I feel like somebody opened up the gates of hell and sicked all the hellhounds on me, just landed them in my general vicinity. I'm getting to a point where I don't understand people. I don't understand my husband. I don't understand much. I feel like we're living in the Twilight Zone. And the fires in LA right now, holy freaking Hannah. Can anybody say Horsemen of the Apocalypse? Something's going on there. Okay, so back to today. I'm sorry. So, my husband, before the stroke, was kind of a comedian. He, 99% of what he said was a joke. And that was one of the reasons why I married him. He just kept me laughing. After the stroke, ooh, no, we're not the same. In fact, I hate to say this out loud, but he's a totally different human. I think I've actually said that in another video. And I've talked to other people who are going through the same thing I am, and I know a lot of people that got divorced. In fact, I had one lady, she came in here and she needed taxes or something done. And we were talking about it, and it was shortly after my husband had had a stroke, and she looked me dead in the eye and she said, "File divorce paperwork now." And I was like, what? That's an odd thing to say after somebody just tells you that your husband's had a stroke. I get it. I get it. Oh, I don't even know how to be right now. So, and yes, she divorced her husband. She just up and left. Something switches in their brain, and the littlest things can set them off. The littlest things. And I know a common theme lately has been, he thinks I'm attacking him. It doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth. He thinks it's a direct attack at him. And in fact, this morning, I was getting ready to go to work, and I come out of the bathroom, and he was all dressed up, so I knew he'd been outside, and I was like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And he said he'd gone out to the freezer. Our freezer's in our garage, and it's not, we don't have a door connected inside. We have a door outside, but you have to go out on the back porch and walk into the garage. And we just had this horrible wind and rainstorm come through, so everything is a solid sheet of ice. So he was dressed to the hilt, had his little crampon thingies on and gloves and hat and all that fun jazz. And I said, "Oh, did you remember to turn the light off out there because it's been on for the last 4 days?" Wrong thing to say. "I told you I was going back out there." Just started screaming at me. And I said, "Ho, ho, slow down. No point getting upset. I just asked about the light. It wasn't anything big." And he kind of got where I was going with it because his nurse was sitting there, so he didn't want to look like an ass either. But, anyhow, he kind of backed up a little bit and apologized, and he says, I'm going back out. I'll make sure the light is off. And I said, okay, thank you. Well, I could tell that he was on edge. So the rest of the time of me getting ready and trying to get out the door, I kind of treaded lightly with what I asked or said or did. And he goes out and closes our fence gate when I pull out of the driveway so that our Great Dane can just wander as he wants to. And so he was coming out to close the gate as I was leaving. And I rolled down my window and I said, be nice to your nurse today. I could just feel the tension. I knew it was going to be a bad day. And I get to the office and it's within seconds. Within seconds, my phone starts blowing up. And apparently he wanted to watch the news about the fires in LA because he's from California. And his nurse wanted to watch one of her programs. And I don't really know the full truth of the matter, but I do know that a meltdown ensued over not being able to watch the news. To the point where he threw a tizzy fit and went and locked himself in the bedroom to watch the news back there. And then proceeded to text me about how it's his house, he should be able to watch whatever he wants to watch, and that everything is an argument, blah, blah, blah. And I agreed with him, and I told him that I would handle it. He was still going off, so I called him. And sometimes I have noticed I don't like to argue. I am one of those that would rather just pick up and walk off than to have an argument with you. If you're going to be screaming in my face, I'm done. I don't need that. We're grown adult people. If you want to have a conversation, I will more than likely sit and talk to you. But if you're going to start screaming at me, peace out. I don't want to do that. But I could tell that he was at Mach 30. I mean, he was just over the top. I don't know if Mach 30 is bad, but it sounded bad. Anyhow, so I called him. And I have noticed with him, the only way to get his attention, to get him to calm down, is to meet him where he's at. And I started off calm, cool, and collected. I'm like, what's going on? Are you okay? What happened? What's the issue? And he just goes off and just starts telling me that he can't watch anything in his own house. The minute I leave, that's when the problems start. And I said, okay, I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. I will talk to her about it. And that wasn't good enough. He still wanted to talk about how he wanted to watch the news. And I said, it's okay, John. It's okay. I will handle it. You can go back out there and watch the news if you so choose. It's not a big deal. It's just the news. It's not something to get angry about. Apparently it was. So I texted I texted the nurse and I said, hey, can you put it back on the news channel? He's a little uptight about these California fires and wants to keep up to date on them. And if you need, something to watch, I can send you my Netflix and Amazon logins or something, and you can watch it on your phone. I said, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to keep the peace, And she wrote back and apparently didn't even know that there was a problem. Seriously. And she says, after you left, him and I have been good. And I'm like, oh, gosh, somebody help me. I don't even know what to do. And I said, well, if you could just put it on the news channel, that would be great. And she said she would. And I went back to work on my phone calls or whatever. And then I get a text from her. Jennifer, he's mad at me. He turned the whole TV off now. Really? We're having a 2-year-old meltdown over a damn TV channel. Really? So, I call again. And that's when I met him where he was at. And I just started screaming, "Are you 2? Are you 2 years old? I fixed the first problem, but that wasn't enough. You needed to continue the argument?" And that's the deal. It's like he wants to continue to fight. He wants to continue to argue. Once he gets into that headspace, there is a continual argument. All day long. I had to talk him down. I think I talked to him 5 times during the day today. I wasted a lot of time. And she leaves around 4. And I check in with him. And at 5, I called him. He's still angry. Still angry about this news thing. So I tried to talk to him about it. And I said, you're right. It's your house. You have the ability to watch whatever program you want. However, you do not have the right to scream at everybody just because you're upset. I said, is a news channel really something to be that upset about? Oh yeah, he told me it was. There was no fixing it. There was no fixing it. And it wasn't too... Sorry, I had to look at the clock because I talked to him about an hour and a half ago. So it wasn't until about 7:30 that I called him and I said, I think you're missing my point. It's okay if you're upset. It's not okay to yell at people. And I really don't have the time all day to be refereeing between you and your nurse, for one. For 2, if she thinks you're aggressive, they're not going to show up anymore. Which puts me in a really bad spot because that is my only security blanket while I'm at work. If I can't work, you can't have your news program. And it's like this just about every other day. Just about every other day. Some days are worse than others. But it can be just the littlest thing, like changing the channel, that just puts him through the roof. And sometimes there's no talking him down. And today, I'm sitting in my office screaming at him on my phone. My poor employees had to sit there and listen to me try to talk him off a cliff. It is what it is. We have tried the pot route. He was on, when he first woke up after they had him in a medically induced coma type thing, they had him on anti-anger meds and they really messed with him. So we chose to take him off of those. But I asked him today, I said, do you want to look at those meds again? And he said, no, I'll fix it. But by tomorrow, he'll forget. And if there's any residual anger hanging on, I'm going to have another day like that tomorrow. I guess the reason why I'm telling you this is because people don't realize. I come to work with a smile on my face every day. Every day. I talk to clients with a smile on my face. They ask me how he's doing. They ask me how I'm doing. I always say we're good. We're good. I never tell them about these meltdowns. I never tell them about other things that happen around the house. I haven't even told you. But we're all wearing a mask. Deep down inside, the caretakers are screaming too. And I'm not necessarily screaming. I'm just like, one easy day, please. One easy day would be great. I look at other people that, because I struggle some days. I struggle big time. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to argue with him anymore. I don't have to, I'm just going to walk. Guilt overrides me. And don't get me wrong, I do love him. It's just difficult. It's difficult to deal with that every dang day. And the patience you need. One of my employees was leaving tonight, and he said, I hope you have a better night. And I said, I will. I'm going to go to the liquor store and get me a bottle of Jack. I was joking, of course, but some days, it's, yeah, it's not easy. But I look at other people where it's worse than a stroke. You know, wives taking care of husbands, or husbands taking care of wives. And I'm like, oh, I can barely, I don't know how they do it. I don't. My heart goes out to you if you're seeing this video. Because some days are harder than others. I mean, we have figured it out. I have figured out how to talk him off a cliff. But it's just not something anybody talks about. So I wanted to talk about it. And see if anybody else out there has been through a similar situation. Maybe has some tips or tricks. And I don't know. I just don't know, guys. Well, this video isn't going any further and my arms are getting tired from holding my phone. And I have to go home and make sure he's calmed down enough. He usually is when I get there. I think part of the anger is frustration from having the stroke and not being able to do what they once did, or, you know, work. Their lives become very limited. And because I'm a safe zone, I'm not going anywhere, and he knows that, it's easier to yell at me. But when it starts, you know, trickling out to the people that are helping me to help him, so pot isn't working. It knocks him down on his butt for like 2 days, and it might be the strain that we're using. I don't know. We've tried several, and none seem to be helping. And his nurse told me today to look into some tea, but I don't know if I can get him to drink tea. I don't know if anybody else has any tricks out there that anti-anxiety, anti-stress, anti-something. I'd really appreciate it. And if you've had a similar problem yourself, please share your experience. And don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I want your comments. I want to know what you're going through. We can only get through this together. Alright. I love you all. I'm out. Here's to 2025. Bye.